Leidersdorff.
Hi, I'm Rob Legret.
Welcome to Lakehouse Music. We're located in the Asbury Park area of New Jersey, and the studio is built in an 1880s Victorian. Has a lot of character, fun place to get creative. We're running a ProTools HD3 rig. We also have Logic 8 using the Apogee A to D converters. We have this beautiful matrix with the X-Logic rack, X-Rack, loaded up. We have 4 of the dynamics, 2 EQs, and the stereo bus compressor. A Vintech 609, Chandler Abbey Road TG1, stressors, Summit Audio, Pultec 9098, Universal Audio 2610, Neve 1073s, Teletronics LA2A, TubeTech CL1B, 70s DBX, and a few other things. Yeah, we're currently doing Matthew Ian. We did They Soul record recently. We're about to do another one for them. Did Sally, Alex Ramel, The Millstone, Jenny Queen. We did Soul Azul. We're doing Matt O'Ree's new record now. Very busy, 6 days a week. Well, we got real busy and started doing some mixed gigs and high-profile stuff, and realized it was time to make that leap and to get a console. Well, you know, working in the box is limiting for us. It's limiting for us and what we like to do. There's a lot of outboard gear that we really want to use and be able to use at mixed time effectively.
All in the box. Occasionally, to get to certain favorite outboard pieces, I would do an insert inside Pro Tools that way. Sonically, not as good as a console. And also time consuming. Where you put your insert, you can just bring it up and it's there. Through a console, it's a lot faster. Actually, yeah. In some cases, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It's a lot easier when you put it through a console and you insert it on the console. It's there. It's physically in front of you. It's not just going through the computer and back in.
Gotcha.
So for me, it tends to make me a little bit more creative once it's out, rather than just an insert going back in. I get a little more excited when it's there in front of me.
Well, we ended up buying the Matrix, the SSL Matrix. For us, it just seemed there was something interesting about that. Here we are looking for something very specific. We're looking for something that's small footprint that'll fit in our workspace, because our workspace has a great flow, and we didn't want to break that up. We wanted to be able to use all this gear that we have. You know, we wanted something to tie it all together. You know, get out of the box, but be able to use everything also. Yeah, it was a pretty, you know, I was nervous because we made this big investment. We even bought the nice desk to put it in, and we had only heard it up at SSL. We went in and auditioned the console, which...
And that was in an early stage too.
In an early stage, yeah. That was, you know, that was like, wow, this thing is really...
even there, we could tell.
Yeah.
You know, when we started listening back on it, you know, playing with the input volume and driving it a little bit, listening to how it breaks up, and you know, pushing the console a little bit. It sounded like a great analog console. And it wasn't until we brought it back here, since we got ours, that we really could hear the difference.
Yeah, it was pretty devastating too.
Yeah.
You know, I was just
want to remix everything.
Didn't expect that kind of impact, and you know, big smiles. Yeah, it was a fun moment for us to know that, hey, it's worth all that money. Yeah, it's worth it. So. Yeah, that's genius. That X-Rack stuff is great. I mean, at some point, we'll load it up with a few more racks. Absolutely.
And right now, you've got 4 channels,
4 compressors, 2 EQs, and the bus compressor.
Right.
And we use them all the time.
Right.
The compatibility, you know, be able to recall it. is excellent. I mean, we got used to working in the box, and you know, we get the call the next day, and we love everything, but could you turn up the bass a hair? Could you turn up this one BV?
My vocal's not loud enough. You know, the benefit of the digital world is the recallability, but now being able to do that in the analog world is what more could you really ask for? So it's not an issue recalling mixes now in the analog world. And the best thing too is I can take snapshots of everything, and it remembers which input was where, how much level I had on it, and I could just recall it and I'm ready to go. It's great. You can go back and forth with the touch of a button. You know, if I have, say, 2 snares grouped and 2 kicks grouped, and in analog and I have my drums broken out, I can either control them there in the analog, but if I maybe want to hit the compressor a little harder that I'm sending out from Pro Tools to, I just hit the button and I'm controlling my DAW again, and I just bump them up a little bit, meanwhile leaving the analog world alone, and then go back to the analog and can continue mixing the way that I was.
Right.
So you can go back and forth with this flip of a switch real quick.
Right.
Yeah, well, some producers will come in and that's what they're working in.
Yeah.
So, you know, you gotta be ready. Gotta be able to do everything now. That's the thing with how this business is now. You really have to be able to do it all. So when you've got this great producer that you're working with, there's gotta be a reason for him to come here.
Yeah, you don't want him to have to learn a different program that won't make him feel comfortable. You want. Duende, two Duende PCIe's.
Okay. How has that been going for you?
Great. I can control that, and with the matrix too, which is even handier for saving on brain power. So I can hit the plug-in switch and start twisting knobs rather than searching for the little dial on the side inside Pro Tools. So it's great.
Well, that's the biggest change. Picking up a few pieces of outboard gear and a few new guitar amps isn't as interesting to people as when you're bringing in a new board. And I think people are looking for this. I think there's so many people who want to be able to work in both worlds. How many people have that opportunity to say that they have an SSL console? Because it does have a sound, and people recognize that SSL is great gear. So to be able to bring that to our rig, that's a great thing for us. It did, and when I'm talking to an A&R guy about being able to mix this record, I could let him know that we have that here, and I could let him know that we can recall his mix, no problem, even though we're out of the box. You could solve a lot of objections that way because you can deliver more.